Hey guys, thanks for joining today's webinar. I see most of you have joined on Zoom, and people are still joining on the YouTube channel. I'm just gonna give another 1 minute time, just an extra minute, just to let everyone else in, and we can start off then, basically. Okay, cool. Hey guys, so my name is Hiba. I'm the head of community and co-founder of Wishy, which is an application for creative freelancers to basically post their portfolio and apply for open positions and listings from agencies and creative companies who are looking for creative freelancers for projects. Um, so today's webinar is all to do with email marketing is and what is the importance of actually either starting your newsletter or enhancing it. Um, we talk about everything from the basics to basically who you can email, who you can't email, and so on, basically. Please note that this webinar is recorded and will be sent out to everyone who RSVP'd via the Dots, Wishy, or Eventbrite. So you won't miss anything, and all the tools and presentation will be also included in the discussion. So as I said, Wishy is a creative community and an app basically for creative freelancers, as well as creative companies and agencies to basically look for you guys for creative freelancers to book for projects and basically manage the entire workflow from everything from discovery to paying on the platform through us, basically. For freelancers, what we offer is not only portfolio postings, but you also get what you pay, which is you receive money on time, or you don't have to chase anyone. Um, Build your portfolio, obviously, collect all your client reviews, which is available for top talents. Um, Custom profiling, which you can actually add to anywhere with social media, newsletters, uh, emails, outreaches, and so on, and the website as well, where it can actually the client can be redirected. You can manage all your workflow and all your projects on one platform for free. Also offer your services to get on-demand bookings from the services, collaborate with other creatives, talk to them, collaborate on other projects, connect with clients, follow them, and basically reach out to them via Wishy, and obviously apply to open listings as well. So all these kind of things are free to use for all creative freelancers. If you're a photographer, videographer, editor, graphic designer, illustrators, etc., we're open for you to create a profile. So today we're going to cover four main topics actually, listed five or six. So number one is what is the importance of the newsletter. So we're going to outline the key areas where creative freelancers actually should be aware of when it comes to newsletters and email marketing, especially. Why you would like to use a newsletter. So what is the advantages of you using one? Why you wouldn't want to use a newsletter, which I thought is quite key to outline, because sometimes people look at newsletters as a sales acquisition fully. So let's say you spam, if you spam someone or something like that, that's not a key way to use a newsletter for. Automation tips, so for you to get more clients, and then who you can actually email, and basically tools as well to help you go over the process. If you have any questions already regarding anything, please put in the Q&A box on Zoom or the chat on YouTube, or you can email me after. I'll show you my email. So the importance of a newsletter. So email newsletters are a piece of marketing. So basically, I think it's key marketing for creative freelancers, and I said this before the pandemic as well. And it shouldn't be ignored by anyone because it's actually pictures you and makes you look like a stronger professional. Even let's say if at first you don't really sell that much through it, you just update your previous clients or you update of your existence to the new clients that you like to be hired from. A newsletter basically can do all of that. And obviously, you shouldn't be sending the same newsletter to everyone. You should be structured and precise ones, which we'll go into later on. So there's five key specific reasons for why a newsletter is really important for a creative freelancer. Number one, it helps you rekindle all relationships. So any old clients that you had, basically you can include them in the newsletter. So you don't follow the GDPR laws as well. You can do that because they actually landed on your email. You had on and off emails with them and so on. So you can actually include them, update them with your process, include any companies that you currently work for, any relevant projects that you would like to look at, and so on. Number two, it saves freelancers significant time. So imagine updating all your clients one by one, whilst you can actually update them as a bulk, which actually creates a really stylish and nice looking, basically, and time saving method to basically update your clients with, which makes you look really, really professional. Number three, it enables you to stand out and kind of like proudly offer all your services. Maybe there's new services that you offer. You want to push out to your clients, basically maybe even upsell as well, which is a key thing during the pandemic. And obviously everyone tried to do that with clients. So maybe even now, if you can't work now precisely, maybe upselling your services would be a key thing to look at. And number four, it makes you look bigger than a freelancer. So let's say sometimes you would like to look as a trusted company, because every single creative freelancer, creative entrepreneur is basically someone who has a company and someone who has to have that profit and sales happening. So yeah, so you like to be signaled towards being a much bigger, basically individual rather than just a freelancer alone. So you want to be signaling that you're a company, you can offer these and these services, and so on. And number five, it's not expensive. So having a newsletter is super cheap. It's free. I'll give you the free one at the end with the tools that you actually can use. We use that software as well, and it's pretty cool, and basically not expensive if you want to use more people. But there's the one that I will signal towards. You basically can use it for free, and I don't think anyone can actually max out the number of emails you send with it as well. So why would you want to use a newsletter? So there's like three purposes for using basically the newsletter for as a creative freelancer or freelancer in general for marketing perspectives. Let me just move my camera. Number one is basically finding your first client. So if you are someone who's just starting out, or you need actually new clients on board to basically push that income further, it's a great way to basically include loads of clients that you would like to have on your portfolio and reach out to them. And this can be either through newsletters, or it can actually be a great way to basically just email marketing, using a raw email marketing as a source of acquisition. So one key thing to note by using newsletters for clients that you haven't actually reached out to before is that it might be annoying with the GDPR laws. So what I would signal towards is try to collect a list of clients that you think fit your client personas, and then send a personalized email to them. And the ones that do reply to you, you can basically place them into your newsletter, because that technically that's fine to do. Um, but obviously, always have an unsubscribe button. So if someone uh, doesn't want to be bothered or something like that, just have it in there, because it's just basically convenient for both of you, because you're not wasting time with that company or that individual. And number two is basically staying in touch with clients. So any previous clients that you have, um, obviously there's, I think is, as I said here as well, there's no business like repeat business and staying in touch, because there's so many ways you can actually um, build relationships that over last for years and years, and basically you get trusted the major projects that company has, which is a great way to basically always stay on top of your sales. So maybe you can complete maybe you completed a project a long time ago, and client isn't sure if you're still working on anything on that, or if you're busy. You can actually update that client with newsletters with projects that you work on, um, any openings that you have for anything like that, or just signaling that you are looking for work or you open for work. Maybe contact any maybe your contact has changed companies and has in, like, let's say thought of your service in the need context, or maybe hearing from you will just remind the client that they have some work, because a lot of times people just push, especially nowadays because of pandemic, people push their marketing projects and creative projects aside a lot of times, and then basically just kind of go back to them, say you're around Gene time or something like that. That I know most companies that I spoke to did that, but a lot of them actually are restarting now. So maybe your newsletter or email would just push them to just keep you in the loop of any projects, any project that you have opening, so they can actually talk to you and see if you're the right fit for that. um, Whatever reason, staying in touch with your client is a good way to basically get more work and basically keep them in touch with what you're currently doing. If you're open for work, or if you have any basically specific new niches that you want to explore as well with them. So let's say if you are a photographer and you did it throughout the pandemic, you did a graphic design course, you can actually inform that client saying like, oh, I don't only do photography. I know photography maybe not the right time for you because of the pandemic, but I offer graphic design services. These are my examples. If you like to hire me or explore the services with me. Um, and number three is basically getting new work from existing clients. So basically using emails to get new work. It means running some sort of promotion, say, or like telling them that you are offering a new service, as I mentioned as well, that you are offering, let's say, exclusive services, exclusive time periods for specific campaigns. If you, let's say, if you're an illustrator, if there's particular seasons that you do, or like a graphic design individual, you can actually just use this kind of like use specific times to actually send specific offers to clients. But obviously, I would never say discount or undervalue your services, because that just creates problems for later on projects. um, and one key thing that you should always remember is that clients are interested. So most clients are, or at least interested in seeing new services and new kind of deals that your business, basically your creative business, offers. So most clients want to be up to date. If you have built a good relationship or had a good service that you provided for that client, they will like to be in the loop of knowing what you're up to, what you're working on, if you're free to work on other projects and stuff like that. Because a lot of times they don't necessarily like to reach out to people Most of the times that's why freelancing exists. So basically they just hire any freelancers or just see whoever pops up on an email. Um, so it's a great way to basically kind of like remember that clients are always interested, and if they're not interested, they will tell you. And basically that's when your email kind of goes into spam. Notice that I am not advocating using email marketing as a means to get new work from anybody. So basically, um, if you are necessarily thinking, any old client or previous client that will hire you immediately, that might be not true. Not everyone will be interested, and that's what happens when it comes to spam. They might just say it's spam and they don't want to hear from you and so on. Of course, but like the thing is, of course, using email marketing is not the only kind of way to achieve any of these kind of free goals. Um, there are quite a few reasons why email marketing is suitable choice for all three though. When I say all three, I mean these all three purposes. Um, they're fast. They're really, really fast. So let's say you don't have to take a lot of time out. All you need to do is just design one newsletter or a few newsletters, templates, and basically just edit them, and then send to a bulk of people that you just basically split. And then basically newsletters are cheap as well. So it costs from zero, which is the one that I will show you, cost zero. It's just free basically, and it's really, really good. We use it at Wishu. And then users are effective because you can actually see all the data analytics that you can't really see from Gmail. Obviously, if you have plugins such as Strike, you basically can see basically, sorry, Streak. You can actually see, who opened it, who didn't open it, and so on. But that's not really big analytics. What you can actually do with a newsletter is basically see anyone that clicked on any links, anyone that forwarded you the email to someone, anyone that unsubscribed. So basically, we can see all those key analytics that actually help you understand where you are basically. Everyone uses email, and most people will at least glance at an email, and basically kind of maybe even refer you to someone else, or tell, just basically get reminded in some senses as well that your client, your services exist, that you are open for work, and basically if they are open in any positions, basically gladly will just basically have you standing out there. And they make you look organized as well. So it makes you look that you're on top of your shit and on top of your marketing. Newsletters can be um, an aspect that actually pushes you to look really, really professional and really, really up to date with stuff, and also kind of impressive as well. So when I receive an newsletter, which I do, I subscribe to like I think around like a few hundred freelancers, and then basically I receive a newsletter saying, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." I'm basically kind of like outlining that on top of their shit, and they have loads of, but they still have some time to look for other projects. So they're open to anyone basically messaging them, asking if they can work on some stuff. I am super impressed a lot of times, and it's something that actually pushes me to hire them as well. And it's something that I know that they're on top of their marketing game rather than just like just using social media, which doesn't really land clients, but using social media to promote what they're doing, how that on top of that stuff, and their website, using another source of marketing, which is email and newsletters, pushes them even further and makes them be seen as a business, as a provider of service that should be trusted and should be used. They're super professional and super on top of that game. Why you wouldn't want to use a newsletter? So that's a simple answer. Is basically you don't want to annoy people. So you don't want to be a spammer, technically. So if you think your newsletter doesn't provide any benefit or any particular reason why you're doing it, you shouldn't use it, because then you're gonna basically be seen as a spammer, or someone that isn't on top of that game, maybe because there are, like, let's say, like, particular reasons why you use email marketing is that you have a particular mode of marketing, so you know precisely what you want to include in it. And if you don't, you research, obviously. You see, oh, I want to include all my relevant services that I provide, remind them that I'm doing this and this and that, or saying, I've been featured in this article. Here's some resources for your business. Maybe you wrote some articles in correlation to, like, let's say, agencies, trends, and so on. Which is obviously really, really good as well. And then basically, if you don't have any of that, you just want to email them saying, you're open for business. Sometimes that might not work. You need to just provide some benefits, some alterations when it comes to saying why precisely you're marketing to them. You should always remember that everything you send must be run through, basically, is this going to annoy more people than benefit? That's why I said it, like, here as well. It's a key thing, and that's what we did with you as well. So let's say if 1 week, we know precisely, let's say, our content for blogs, we say, we shared a similar blog like 2 weeks ago, and similar cost of blogs. So maybe this week we're not going to do it. We're just going to share on the in-app notifications and just keep it like that. Just to be know that I was just going to benefit, because I already benefited 2 weeks ago. And just rethink that kind of way as well. Some of the things that annoy people are high frequency emails. So, like, maybe like sending too many emails and too often. Consolidated emails, as well as if a person has never heard of you. Sending generic kind of mass email is usually seen as spam. So that's why I said, try to go with the precise way of personally emailing them before and getting a reply to them from them. And maybe saying, like, oh, can I date you? Can I keep updating you and stuff like that? If they say yes, obviously just include them in the email. Or even if they say, or if they don't reply to you regarding the newsletter, just say, like, oh, thank you. I'll keep you in mind. You can still include them in the newsletter, and they obviously can just subscribe if they want to. So, and another reason is basically too much irrelevancy. So if it's too relevant for that, keep client persona. Don't send it because it's so irrelevant. It's so spammy as well, because they can obviously see that this doesn't benefit them at all. So that's why I said, when it comes to client personas, have at least 2 or 3, different clients that you focus on in your niche, and basically see what you can draw from 3 of them. And obviously don't send a generic email if it's regarding, let's say, like, beneficial information or resources. Make sure you specify and use at least 3 different formats if you have 3 different clients. It's really, really needed, and it brings a lot of benefits when it comes to creative freelancers. One thing that obviously everyone should have, which is unsubscribe button, is opting out, which is in every email campaign you send or any newsletter you send, to make sure you provide details for recipients that you use opt out of future emails. This basically helps create kind of curb the annoyance to a minimum, basically. So people are not annoyed, they can't subscribe, they have to email you saying, can you please remove me from your email list? It's so annoying. It's so annoying to even hear that from people. Like, obviously there's people that are so sometimes, like, are really angry. They're like, oh, I didn't sign up to this, why are you sending me an email? Obviously you might receive some of that, because he might forget you, or they might, like, just not understand why you send them an email. So I would definitely say, try not to not include unsubscribe button, because it's super, super needed, and it does create a benefit for you, because it just says that client is not interested, and you don't have to waste time as well on them. And then the key thing is basically who you can email. So I provided you 4 resources because obviously it's quite a big topic when it comes to the conversation, and obviously we have limited time. So I wanted to precisely give you articles and resources that do tell you who precisely what kind of mistakes you should avoid when it comes to email marketing, newsletters, and so on, and what anti-spam laws. So all these are hyperlinks, so you can actually use them after when I send you the presentation. So it's quite actually hard to kind of answer the question as well, because there's so many answers and so many ways uh, of knowing who you can actually email. A lot of times, basically anyone, if you include opt-out information and opt-out kind of resources, which is just an unsubscribe button. But also you have to be careful as well. So the easiest way, as I said, try to individually email them. If it's new clients, try to individually email them and then see if they respond. And then if they do respond, you can actually include them in the newsletter. And doing that, it basically just creates a much more beneficial way to knowing they might be interested. And if they don't interested, you can just unsubscribe from your newsletter. And in particular, most countries have or are passing laws on privacy and on soliciting emails. So every year, almost it becomes more and more difficult to actually send newsletters, but it's still like quite easy and quite normal. But I wanted to include some UK-based resources. So basically, your email marketing and anti-spam law. If you use your email marketing, you need to understand who you are and are not basically, and it allows us some kind of emails to basically who can you send it, who can you not send it, what implications that actually goes into, and what the spam emails actually mean. And then 17 email marketing mistakes to avoid in 2021. So this is updated tips, updated laws that you actually can look at to make sure that all your marketing when it comes to emails is precise and you're not basically doing anything to basically lessen your advantage when it comes to acquisition of clients or reacquisition. And then UK email marketing benchmarks as well by an industry, and obviously GDPR for marketing. So the definite guide, which this is quite simple to read, and it basically just talks about the GDPR laws when it comes to email marketing and marketing in general. When it comes to automations for current clients, there's 2 particular ways that I wanted to talk and approach this. So basically, number 1, build on onboarding email sequences for new clients. So every new client should receive a high quality onboarding email sequence from you. Even if, let's say, you get hired through Marketplace, I think a nice way to basically approach the project is to basically send them a nice message or a nice email, providing them with all the information, or even doing it on an newsletter based perspective. So let's say having an automated email, so you can actually include them in your emails already when you're actually on the project with them, saying how you work, how you process stuff, what kind of touch points they can actually do, and do they have any meetings and so on. So basically like an FAQ almost, frequently asked questions and so on. So basically makes you look at bigger business, and it also lets you answer some of the questions that a client may have without wasting a lot of your time that you can actually spend on the project. The sequence might start with a transactional email, let's say, as well. So thanking them for hiring and paying you and so on. This can be last one, I would say. Firstly, just try maybe emailing them with the FAQ, which is to say anything that you might have questions on. Maybe even pushing your customer service, which is key in 2021. Pushing your customer service, and maybe like telling them you're there if they have any questions, if they want to meet, jump on a Zoom call, and etc. Basically, And then another one is basically trigger milestone check-ins with clients, so they always feel in the loop. So once you're moving along nicely with your client, you want to ensure that they feel in the loop with the project. So obviously that most of the times it does happen if you work on bigger projects, you have to do like almost day by day or week by week meetings. But a nice way to basically do that is basically say, I complete this milestone and so on and so on and so on. Obviously, these can be either used by personal email or newsletter as well. Um, I like to basically create a template myself, basically use that to signal towards the client. And it basically creates a nice atmosphere. And obviously, if you use a newsletter, it actually creates another basically subscriber, which is the current client that you talk to. And obviously, I wanted to kind of go into tools, which is how to achieve the best email marketing and newsletters. So um, I wanted to basically include these 5 ones because I think they're quite most relevant when it comes to actually acquiring an email from the website or any list, and then basically using that email to send to someone or schedule mass outreach campaigns and so on. So this Discovery is basically a Chrome extension. So it's a great kind of like job hunt for job hunters, sales, entrepreneurs, and so on. And for creative freelancers, obviously, for anyone looking to find an email address. So like let's say if you go to a website or you go to LinkedIn, you want a particular email for a particular person to reach out to, because you don't want to just reach out to hello@wishy.io to find a job. You want to go particularly for the recruiter, for the person who is in charge of recruiting people for marketing projects or something like that. So this tool actually helps quite a lot when it comes to that. So you can actually see precisely who you can contact to get that direct contact with. And then HubSpot as well, which is a great way to generate emails as well, leads, and measure the success of it. So it's completely free, and you don't have to upgrade to anything to it. It's really, really good. And then Streak that I use as well, which is basically a CRM tool. So you basically also a Chrome extension, so you can manage your emails on Gmail and you actually see who you want to reply to again, who you need to follow up with, etc. So it's quite nice and organized way to precisely know who basically staying on top of your shit, basically. Yeah. And then SendGrid, which is the free newsletter that I was talking about. So it's really, really good. We use it at Wishy, but obviously we pay for it because we have tens of thousands of people to talk to. But for obviously for creative freelancers, 100 emails per day forever is pretty good and pretty not needed to pay. So using it for free is really, really good. And it's really, really easy to use. Pretty simple to organize and go through stuff. So if you do have any questions regarding SendGrid, let me know. I'll show you my email soon. You can actually set up a call with me and I can actually go through it further as well with you. So you can actually set up and basically show you how to create some cool templates. And obviously Mailshake as well, which is a platform for email outreaches. Is it like an auto-piloted platform? So basically it turns your cold emails into warm leads and basically kind of tells you analytics of who replied to you, etc., etc., etc. It's really, really good. We used to use it before. Now we don't really use outreach emails that much. But for creative freelancers, it's really good. But this is not free, so this is the only one that's not really free to use. That's pretty much it for today. It's a good webinar because I wanted to do roughly 30 minutes, so we can have a few questions actually as well. Let me check. Which is the newsletter format that works best? PDF, MailChimp. MailChimp is quite good as well. So what I would recommend is basically using a free one, which is, I think MailChimp is free as well for a particular amount of people. particular amount of emails you send a day or a month. So I would definitely try out different ones, because that's what we did. We try out like around like 3-4 different emails providers, and we saw which one actually fits us best. So overall, we took SendGrid, which actually provides us with the best results and the best basically analytics when it comes to reachability of users. So yeah, so try out different ones. I think definitely like MailChimp is um, highly talked about, but I think SendGrid is really, really good. Do you have any tips on writing quick, simple, effective newsletters? Can it be anything you want, or mostly graphic design and few text? I definitely think it's quite specific when it comes to newsletters. You can't just write any newsletter. It has to be planned. It has to be specific of what you think your client would want to hear from you. So let's say if it's something to do with showcasing your work that you did, or any projects that you worked on before or now, um, you basically can just provide that and basically provide images, provide like links to go to the full-on case studies and so on, and then maybe just provide like some context when it comes to them reaching out to you and you being available to take projects. But usually what happens is you decide on some formats, which is, let's say, if you have a logo, or if you just basically, let's say, James Johnson photography, if you just follow that, you can just basically just write some typography stuff and add like an image, or you can just include some kind of image, which is like, say, from Pexels, which is free, stock free images. And basically use that kind of thing to, I don't know, just make it look nicer, because you can't sending just a blonde text email is not going to get like, it doesn't look attractive. So definitely say like try to use some imagery and start maybe even gifts, and make sure to use buttons and links as well, hyperlinking all the photos they use, any artwork they use to lead to somewhere, and then basically just informing them that more about anything like that. What key thing as well that I've seen people do now, especially creative freelancers that I subscribe to, is that basically they work on the SEO, which is the create blogs, particularly when it comes to providing tips for their client. So the particular client base that they focus on, they provide tips for them. So let's say anything to do with the new trends for agencies when it comes to creative campaigns. They would include that, and then he starts to saying like, oh, you can read these following blogs to help you with your upcoming projects, or help you get inspired or something like that. And basically those kind of things actually help really, really a lot. And I would definitely say providing some beneficial information and beneficial resources for them would be really, really key in basically clickability and click-through rates and stuff. So yeah, try to make it look nice. Use some images, maybe create a logo if you don't have a logo, or not even create a logo, just text in a nice way, and then maybe just complete it with using your graphic design art. What is the best way? Can you repeat what is the best way to acquire new clients via newsletter? Yeah, so the key thing to acquire new clients, what I said in the basically a few like 30 minutes ago, is that you basically should email. You should basically collect an email list of all the clients that you want to work for or work with on projects, and basically use that to individually send emails to them by Gmail or whatever you use, basically Yahoo, and email them. So if they do email you back, you can ask them basically saying, "Oh, can you do you mind being updated by me. Basically, I want to update you with my work, any relevant stuff that comes to it. If they say yes, yeah, just include it in the newsletter. That's how it starts. And if they say no, obviously don't include it. If they don't reply really much around it, still include them and they can just unsubscribe. So that's pretty much it, to be honest. That's how I would approach it, and that's the best way I think to approach it when it comes to GDPR laws. Would you suggest paying for a newsletter for much nicer design ones? I definitely don't think paying for a newsletter is a key thing, especially if you have lower, like it's an email list, you don't have thousands of emails to go through. I definitely think you should just basically use SendGrid or MailChimp, the free versions of it, because I don't know if MailChimp has it. I'm sorry, completely forgot, but I know SendGrid definitely has a free version for you to use, and it's basically really maximizes, sends it to 90 to 99% of people that you actually try to contact, so it doesn't land in a spam email, doesn't land at all for them. It always lands somewhere so you can actually see it. How often should I send a newsletter? I would definitely depends on the client as well. Technically, what I used to get is a month. Every month I used to receive a newsletter from creative freelancers, but there's some creative freelancers that do it weekly. It depends on how busy you are and how much information you want to update them with. Most of the times I think every month, create, let's say, a few emails for different client personas, and basically send them out like that. So I say monthly, definitely monthly. But if you are someone who keeps working on projects, keeps writing blogs, and you see those blogs actually work really well, and you can see people click on them, actually talk to you, hire you for projects and so on, obviously you can transition that into weekly newsletters or bi-weekly newsletters. But I definitely think it's based on testings. For every person is different. But from research, is monthly email newsletters from individuals and freelancers is key. But I would definitely say depends on what you want to offer for them, and also if you need to basically, if you need to basically just test it out and see maybe bi-weekly ones, monthly ones, and so on. Basically, I would suggest basically just using key updates that you have and just moving into every month or start of the month. Start of the month is always best, I think, to send an email start of the month, because that basically signals that if you have any projects this month, they can actually just basically look at you. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to questions. I think I saw a few other ones that are repeated when it comes to providers and so on. I'm not going to go into those that much because I think it's fine with those, the ones that I said. Anything else, you can just email me. I'm going to provide my email in the chat. Email me for questions, or if you like me to help you with any specific areas when it comes to newsletters as well. I'm obviously open to discuss, to jump on one-on-one calls, etc. So yeah, so let me know. That's pretty much it, guys, for today. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.